Hi, hola, ciao, students. In today's lesson for Learn English Florida, we will learn about travel phrases, travel idioms you may use in Florida, and Florida vocabulary words. I'm your teacher, Vanessa. We have a lot to cover, so let's get started. Our first idiom is hit the road. Hit the road. An example sentence would be, let's hit the road. That means let's get going. You might use that phrase a lot when traveling, even if you're getting ready to go on an airplane and not driving. Our second idiom is traveling on a shoestring. A shoestring is the string that goes in your shoes. Here, it means you're traveling on a budget and don't have a lot of money. For example, at a hotel, you might say, we'd like to go to dinner, but we're traveling on a shoestring. What restaurant would you recommend? Number 3 is at the crack of dawn. Dawn is in the early morning, around the time the sun starts to come up. At the crack of dawn means early in the morning. It could be that exact time or maybe earlier. Example, we're going to do a fishing trip that starts at the crack of dawn. Number 4 is catch some rays. Here's a clue as to what that means. Catch some rays means to get some sun. You might say, we're going to go to Miami Beach to catch some rays. Number 5 is off the beaten path. That means you're going to travel a way that's a little different from what most people take. For example, US 41 in the Everglades is off the beaten path. Practice the pronunciation with that one. Number 6 is make a pit stop. That means to stop and use the bathroom, get gas, or get something to eat. You might say, let's make a pit stop at this gas station to go get a snack and use the restroom. And number 7 is call it a night. That means you'll stop doing something because it's getting late. For example, we've had fun sightseeing in Orlando today, but let's call it a night. Those are our 7 idioms. Ooh, did you like those idioms? If you need to, take a short break and come back to learn our Florida vocabulary words. Okay, let's go. Here are our Florida vocabulary words. Number 1 is snowbirds. Is that a type of bird? Not really. Snowbirds are what we call older people who live in other states part of the year and come to Florida for nicer weather in the winter and spring. An example sentence would be, there were a lot of snowbirds at the supermarket. Just so you know, this picture shows people bird watching at a park in Gainesville, Florida, and I think some of them are snowbirds as well. The people, not the birds. Number 2 is gator. You might say, hey, teacher, I know what a gator is. That's short for alligator. And you're right, it is. But it's a good thing to know in Florida. Also, people who are on the sports teams or who are students at the University of Florida are also called gators. That's because a gator is their mascot. Number 3 is Florida man. People like to make fun of Florida. Crazy things happen here. Sometimes the people who live here can be a little crazy too. A Florida man is a nickname we have for someone doing something a little crazy. Maybe you see on the news a man trying to hug an alligator or something else crazy, and you would say, that's a Florida man. The pictures we show here, one shows a man who's hugging an alligator. He went to try and trap it, to try and get it when he was at an event. The other shows a man who's a python hunter. Pythons are a type of snake that are not from Florida, but have come to live in the Everglades and are expanding to other parts of the state. Number 4 for our Florida vocabulary is love bugs. Are they bugs in love? Actually, yes. They're two bugs and they're together all the time until they die. They come out about 2 times a year, around late April or early May, and then around September. They get all over your car and make it hard to clean. They're alive for a few days and then they die. Number 5 is pub sub. Pub sub. If you watched last week's video about Florida food, you learned about Publix supermarket and the sandwiches there. A pub sub is a submarine sandwich from Publix. You might say, hey, before we go to the beach, let's get some pub subs. Number 6 is shelling. Shelling. Maybe you've heard that one before. Do you like to go to the beach? Do you like to look for shells? Then you like shelling. That's just another word for picking up shells and maybe studying and collecting them. Many people in Florida like shelling. Then our final Florida vocabulary word is beach bum. Can you guess what that means? It's a person who likes to just hang out at the beach all day and relax. I think in my next life, I want to be a beach bum. So I want to thank you for watching today's lesson. What idioms or Florida vocabulary words do you like? Tell us below in the comments. Please like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos with others who might like to learn English and learn about Florida. Stay tuned for next week's lesson, where we'll learn about the beautiful Florida Keys. Thanks, everyone. Have a good week.